Autumn leaves crunched beneath Jack Reynolds' boots as he knelt in the Montana underbrush. His coffee cup tumbled forgotten as his fingers closed around the military-grade collar, Canine number 2847, the number stamped with the same precision as Lily's tiny coffin. Blood streaked the leather where the star-shaped scar matched Rex's forehead. The same scar Jack had kissed when 7-year-old Lily presented her hero dog at show and tell. Now wind howled through the pines like the day the state trooper knocked on his door. "Sir, there's been an accident." Jack's radio crackled to life just as he spotted the 8 miniature paw prints trailing toward Dead Man's Gulch. Not just Rex, puppies. And the boot prints beside them? Fresh. Deliberate. Hunting. The dog tag burned against Jack's palm. He could still hear Lily squeal when Rex dragged her from the Snake River current, her pink sneakers kicking as the shepherd's teeth gripped her life jacket. That memory shattered when Marge's transmission cut through. That ain't just some stray ranger. She's 10th Mountain Division, like my boy, before the IED. Jack's boot kicked a brass .45 casing. Military issue. His head snapped up. 30 yards uphill, a gaunt figure emerged from the aspens. The man moved with the predatory grace of a discharged sergeant, his eyes locked on the blood trail like it led to redemption or revenge.
Marge Wilkins' farmhouse loomed through the storm, its once white porch splattered with arterial crimson. The old woman clutched a dog-eared photo, a grinning soldier kneeling beside Rex in full battle rattle. "She came regular as church bells," Marge whispered, pointing to the drag marks through her petunias, "till that fella came asking about a dangerous German shepherd." Jack's fingers found the bullet hole in the porch rail, recent, from a high-caliber sidearm. Marge's voice dropped. "Funny thing, Rex took bacon right from my hand that morning. Ain't no killer." Behind them, a twig snapped. Something or someone was still watching. Tom Dawson materialized like a ghost from the tree line, his 22-year service pin glinting on a mud-caked ball cap. "That bitch is government property," he spat, hand hovering near his sidearm. "Her hesitation got my boy killed in Kandahar. Marcus took the round meant for her." Jack noted how Tom's eyes darted to the ravine where Rex's whimpers echoed. Liar. The ranger stepped closer, spotting the fresh claw marks on Tom's wrists. "Marge says Rex only bites thieves," Jack growled. Thunder rolled as the first raindrops hit Tom's face, mixing with what might have been sweat or tears. "I just want what's left of my son." Then the scream came. Not human, not canine. Labor pains. The gully reeked of cordite and birth fluid. Rex lay panting in a nest of shredded army fatigues, her star-shaped scar pulsing with each contraction. Jack approached slowly. "Remember Lily, girl? You jumped before I could." Rex's ears flicked at the name, but her amber eyes locked onto Tom with feral intensity. A guttural growl vibrated through her teeth as another contraction ripped through her. Tom froze at the sight of her swollen belly. "She's pregnant?" The first puppy crowned in a gush of amniotic fluid just as lightning split the sky. Jack caught the mewling bundle as Rex's body convulsed. "Shelter, now!" Behind them, the storm unleashed its fury. Marge slammed a waterlogged envelope against Tom's chest. Marcus Dawson's discharge papers fluttered to the mud, revealing handwritten addendums in smeared ink. "Canine Luna, number 2847, to be transferred to my father's care upon KIA." Tom's knees buckled. "They retired her instead. I drove her out here to forget." Rex's scream cut through the lie as Buster, the first pup, slid into Jack's palms, his twisted hind leg a mirror of Marcus's training injury. Marge's voice turned lethal. "Your boy called her Luna. You called her it." Rain sheeted down Tom's face as Rex strained to lick Buster clean. Then, a gun cocked. Tom's head snapped toward the tree line. Not alone.
Jack's bandana bloomed crimson against Rex's torn femoral artery. Tom frantically rubbed the second pup, stillborn blue, with Marcus's dog tags. "Breathe, damn you!" A weak cough. A mule. Rex's tail thumped once before her eyes rolled back. "Not today, soldier." Jack hammered her ribs as lightning illuminated 3 more pups emerging in the mud. Tom ripped his shirt to wrap Buster. "Marcus saved 6 men in Helmand. Least I can do is save one of yours." The storm howled like the day they buried Lily. Jack's radio crackled. "Ranger Morrison, this is Dr. Carter." The transmission died as Rex's body convulsed. Black blood pooled beneath her. Tom sealed his mouth over the limp puppy's nose and blew. Once, twice. On the third breath, a rasping wail pierced the storm. Rex lifted her head as Tom placed the squirming pup, now named Buster, at her teats. "Your dad took a round for his team, kid," he whispered. Jack counted the survivors. Buster, twisted leg. Buddy, runt. Daisy, fighter. One remained stillborn in the mud. Tom cradled it briefly before tucking it into his cargo pocket. Marcus would have... Hell. Rain washed the blood from Rex's coat as she nuzzled Buster. Then, a metallic click from the ridge above. "Down!" Jack tackled Tom as a rifle shot splintered the birch beside them.
Tom's combat medic hands worked without tremor, suturing Rex's leg with fishing line and whiskey. "Marcus made me practice on his damn socks," he grunted. Rex didn't flinch, her gaze locked on his 82nd Airborne tattoo, recognizing the insignia. Jack radioed Dr. Emily Carter. 4 pups alive, Rex's BP's crashing. Static, then, "Get her core temp up or she'll bleed out internally." Tom shoved Buster into his jacket, the pup's crooked leg kicking. "Your old man jumped into hell for strangers, boy. Today, we jump for you." A shadow moved beyond the cabin's broken window. Tom palmed his knife. "We got company." Jack chambered his sidearm as Rex suddenly stood on 3 legs, blocking the pups with her body. The door creaked open. A 12-year-old girl in a wheelchair stared at them, her eyes locked on Buster. I think that's my dog." The cabin reeked of mold and copper. Jack pressed a whiskey-soaked rag to Rex's ruptured uterine artery as Dr. Emily's voice crackled, "If she seizes, get glucose into..." The radio died. Tom braced Buster against Rex's neck while Daisy and Buddy whimpered in a makeshift sling. The girl, Sophie Wilkins, rolled forward, her small hands steady as she adjusted Rex's IV bag. "Grandma Marge taught me field medicine," she murmured. Rex's breathing shallowed. "She's coding!" Jack roared. Sophie grabbed Buster and pressed him to Rex's muzzle. "Fight for him," she begged. The lantern flickered. Rex's legs stiffened. Black blood gushed. The light died. Screen cuts to black. Distantly, a puppy's cry. "Rex."
The cabin plunged into darkness. Only the steady whine of the cardiac monitor cut through. Then the dreaded flatline tone. Sophie clutched Buster to her chest as Jack pounded Rex's ribs. "Not like this, soldier." Tom ripped open an emergency glucose pack with his teeth. Just as the monitor's green line went still, Buster wriggled free and nipped Rex's ear. A jolt, a gasp. Rex's chest heaved as the monitor beeped back to life. Sophie burst into tears. She came back for him. Jack's hands shook as Rex weakly licked Buster's twisted leg, the same deformity Marcus had after Fallujah. Outside, headlights sliced through the rain. A voice boomed. "Dawson, you in there?" Tom's face hardened. "Colonel Riggs." Dr. Emily Carter kicked open the door, her blood-stained vet scrubs glowing in the lantern light. She dropped to Rex's side. "Nerve damage is extensive, too much scar tissue." Sophie gripped Buster tighter. "But..." Emily jabbed a syringe into Rex's IV. "She'll walk with a limp if she survives surgery." Tom grabbed the colonel's arm. "You followed me?" The older man eyed Rex's star-shaped scar. "Came to tell you we found Marcus's last letter. He produced a sealed envelope, to be opened if Luna ever whelps." Rex whined as Emily prepped the scalpel. "Decision time. Save her or the pups?" Jack looked at Buster. "Both."
Marge Wilkins stood dripping in the doorway, her eyes cloudy with confusion. I was baking bacon. She stumbled toward Rex, fingers tracing the star-shaped scar. You're not Max, but you smell like my son. Tom froze. Max was Marcus's canine partner, killed saving his unit. Marge pulled a crumpled photo from her apron, a young soldier with 2 German shepherds. My boy sent this the day before. Her voice broke as Rex licked her hand. Emily snapped gloves on. Marge, I need your help. The old woman blinked, clarity returning. Fetch my kit, Sophie. We're delivering pups tonight. As Marge boiled water, Jack noticed the dates on the photo. 2003. Same year Lily drowned. Same year Rex was born. Sophie strapped her leg braces on with shaking hands, Buster cradled in her lap. Grandma says dogs heal people. Maybe people heal dogs? She lowered herself beside Rex, pressing Buster's crooked leg against her own withered calf. See? We're twins. Tom's breath caught. The parallel was uncanny. Marcus had written about a local girl injured in the same IED blast that took Max. Emily handed Sophie a scalpel. Hold this light steady, cadet. As the surgery began, Rex lifted her head to lick Sophie's cheek. Marge murmured, Funny, my boy's last letter mentioned a Sophie too. Outside, Colonel Riggs exhaled sharply. Damn it, Dawson. You were right about her.
3 days post-op, Rex collapsed in the yard trying to stand. Jack carried her to a sunlit patch of wildflowers, Lily's favorite. Remember this scent, girl? Rex's nostrils flared as Buster and Daisy tumbled around her. Then, a miracle. She rose on trembling legs, her bad limb hovering just above the earth. Tom dropped to his knees. Marcus's first steps after rehab looked just like that. Colonel Riggs snapped a salute. Canine Luna, honorably discharged. He pressed Marcus's purple heart into Tom's palm. Should have gone to her. Rex wobbled toward Sophie, nuzzling the girl's braces. Marge smiled through tears. My boy wrote, a good dog completes the mission even when the soldier falls. Jack watched Buster chase a butterfly, just like Lily used to. The grief didn't shrink, but suddenly there was room for more. Buddy, the runt, had been digging near the old oak tree. Jack found him covered in dirt, something yellow clutched in his jaws. Drop it, soldier. The pup obeyed, revealing Lily's hair ribbon miraculously intact after 5 years underground. Jack's knees gave out. Buddy clambered into his lap, licking away the tears. How'd you? Marge touched his shoulder. Dogs remember what we try to bury. That night, Jack dreamed of Lily, not the hospital bed, but the riverbank, laughing as Rex shook water on them both. He woke to Buddy sleeping on Lily's pillow, one paw resting on her photo. Tom stood in the doorway holding Buster. Marcus used to say, dogs assign themselves to unfinished business. Outside, Rex stood guard under the stars, her limp barely noticeable now.
Marge spread the farm deeds across the kitchen table, Sophie's small hand guiding hers. All yours, sweetheart, and the dog's. She pressed a sealed envelope into Jack's palm. From my boy, about yours. The letter revealed, if Luna whelps, give the pick of the litter to Ranger Morrison's girl. She'll need a hero after the accident. Jack's blood ran cold. Marcus wrote this before Lily died? Marge's foggy eyes cleared one last time. No. After. Outside, Rex howled, a sound that raised goosebumps. They found her pawing at fresh earth near the petunia bed. Beneath the soil, Max's old service vest and a child's sneaker, pink, size 3. Sophie gasped. Grandma, did your son know Lily? The old woman just smiled as the sunset painted her face gold. 6 months later, Rex marched through the VA hospital, her limp now a proud swagger. Buster trotted beside wheelchair-bound vets, his twisted leg no hindrance. That one?
Dr. Emily pointed to a hollow-eyed Marine. Buster nudged the man's hand, exactly where shrapnel pain flared. The Marine burst into tears. "How'd—" Tom adjusted Buster's service vest. "They smell cortisol spikes." Marcus trained Max the same way. Across the room, Daisy alerted on a sobbing woman, Sophie's physical therapist. "She's having a heart attack," Emily confirmed with her stethoscope. "Damn dog's better than an ECG." Jack watched Buddy lead a group of kids, all amputees, through an obstacle course. Rex sat at attention by the flagpole, her gaze tracking every movement. Colonel Riggs shook his head. "Dawson, she's not just completing Marcus's mission, she's expanding it."
Smoke choked the air as Rex plunged into the wildfire inferno, her GPS tracker blinking red on the monitor. Sophie gripped the radio. "Buster's got a heat signature!" Through the flames, Rex emerged, dragging an unconscious firefighter by his harness. "Holy hell," muttered the incident commander. "That's the third one today." Tom strapped an oxygen mask to Rex's muzzle as Buster and Daisy located more survivors. That night, news crews swarmed the base. "How do they do it?" a reporter asked. Jack stroked Rex's scar. "Same way they always have, by refusing to leave anyone behind." As cameras flashed, Rex threw back her head and let loose a howl that echoed across the charred valley, a sound part victory cry, part mourning song. Somewhere in the darkness, a wolf answered. The VA parallel bars gleamed under fluorescent lights. Sophie gripped Buster's custom harness, her leg braces discarded. "Ready, partner?" Buster wagged his crooked tail. Step, drag, step. "That's it!" Emily cheered as Sophie reached the 6-foot mark, farther than ever before. Marge, now wheelchair-bound, clapped weakly. "Just like my boy." Tom showed Jack the video, Marcus taking his first steps post-injury, Max steadying him. Same damn determined look. Sophie collapsed into Jack's arms, laughing as Buster covered her face with kisses. Rex watched from the corner, her amber eyes tracking something beyond the window. Later, they found her sleeping at the base of Lily's oak, Buddy curled against her belly. A fresh mound of dirt lay nearby, Max's service tags placed atop it. Jack knelt. "Good soldiers never really fall, do they, girl?" Rex sighed deeply, her paw resting on Lily's ribbon. Emily's hands trembled as she stitched Buddy's paw in the clinic's amber light. 18 months after Marcus died, my Ben stepped on an IED near Kandahar. Jack froze, the same deployment. She showed a dog-eared photo, a grinning medic with a black lab. Bomb sniffer named Duke dragged him 300 yards before bleeding out. Rex nosed Emily's pocket, revealing 2 dog tags. "I keep Dukes with Ben's." Tom gently took the sutures. "Let me." As he worked, Emily whispered, "That day you brought Rex in, I saw Ben in your eyes." Outside, Sophie taught Buster to salute by tapping her wheelchair. The sunset painted them gold, 3 broken souls and the dogs stitching them together. The VA auditorium erupted as Colonel Riggs pinned Marcus's silver star to Tom's lapel for saving 7 canine teams with your training protocols. Tom stared at the empty leash beside him until Rex limped forward, Buster at her heels. The crowd gasped as she dropped Max's old tags at Tom's boots. "Jesus," Riggs choked. Sophie wheeled forward with a new plaque, Dawson Canine Rehabilitation Center. Tom's voice broke. My boy wrote, "Finish what we started." As taps played, Rex threw back her head and unleashed a howl so deep it shook the windows. Every veteran service dog joined in, a chorus of grief and triumph. Jack spotted Marge, smiling through dementia's fog. "That's my son's dog," she whispered.
10-year-old Rex panted as she crested the wildflower meadow, her bad leg dragging.
Below, Buster herded therapy kids through an obstacle course, while Buddy retrieved walkers for seniors. Daisy alerted on a collapsing stroke victim, 30 seconds before the monitors. Jack knelt beside Rex, massaging her scar. "Time to retire, girl." She licked his wedding band, Emily's addition last spring. That night, the pack slept piled in Lily's old room. At 3:17 a.m., Rex whimpered once, the same hour Lily died. Jack found her standing at the door, leash in mouth. They walked to the riverbank where it began. As dawn broke, Rex waded into the shallows and released Lily's ribbon into the current. Then she leaned hard against Jack's leg, her version of a salute. Buddy vanished every September 12th, Lily's birthday. This year, Jack tracked him to the overgrown family plot, where the now grizzled dog dug beside a sapling. Not Lily's grave, Marcus Dawson's. Between his headstone and Max's marker, Buddy had planted a service medal and a single daisy. Tom arrived breathless. That's Marcus's original Purple Heart. They never figured out how Buddy found it in the house's rubble. At dusk, Rex joined them, her muzzle gone gray. She nosed Buddy toward home, but not before barking 3 times at Marcus's stone. The canine alert for mission complete. The wind carried the sound through the valley like an echo of taps.
The hospice bed faced the kennel yard where Buster trained new rescues. Marge's papery hands trembled over Sophie's wedding photos, Buddy wearing a bow tie, Rex with flowers in her collar. The shepherd. Her name was? Sophie pressed Marcus's letter into her palm. Luna, but we called her Rex. The old woman's eyes cleared. Yes, and the crippled one? Buster. He's a colonel now. As sunset painted the room amber, Marge made Sophie promise, keep the dogs together. She drifted off watching Daisy herd fireflies like she once herded sheep. At 11:47 p.m., Marcus's birth time, Rex stood, sniffed the air, and howled once. Emily checked Marge's pulse. She's gone, but the monitors kept beeping. Sophie noticed. The steady rhythm matched Rex's heartbeat on the surgery tape from years before. The screen freezes on Rex's weather-beaten tags hanging beside Max's at the VA. Then, a surprise clip. Sophie walking unaided to accept a humanitarian award, Buster at her side. The camera pans to Jack and Emily's adopted special needs kids playing with Rex's great-grandpups, all bearing star-shaped birthmarks. Tom's voiceover, Marcus wrote, "The mission outlives the soldier." Damn if he wasn't right. The final image, Marge's farmhouse sign, updated, Dawson Morrison Canine Legacy Ranch.
They found Rex curled around the whelping box at dawn, her breathing labored. Buddy licked her face as Buster herded the others back. The last surviving pup, a female with a star-shaped white patch, whimpered against Rex's chest. Jack knelt. "Hey girl, meet your replacement?" Rex lifted her head just enough to lick the puppy's scar, then sighed into stillness. Sophie placed the pup in Emily's hands as Tom draped Marcus's dog tags over Rex. At the burial site beneath Lily's oak, Buster dug up a time capsule. Lily's drawings of Rex, Marcus's deployment letters, Marge's recipe book. The new pup immediately grabbed Rex's old leash and dragged it to Sophie. "No," Sophie laughed through tears. "That's for Captain now, because some legacies demand rank." At the ranch's dedication, 87 service dogs formed a perfect circle around Rex's grave. Buster sat where North would be, the canine alert position. As taps played, every head lifted, not in mourning, in formation. Then, a ripple of movement. From the back, an ancient German shepherd with a limp stepped forward. Colonel Riggs gasped. "That's Max's littermate, retired 15 years ago." The old dog dropped a battered tennis ball on Rex's marker before retreating. That night, Jack checked security footage. The timestamp showed 00 as the dogs began their vigil. The infrared camera caught one more detail. A shadowy figure petting Rex's headstone, a soldier's outline, hand extended toward a small girl in a pink dress. The image lasted 3 seconds before dissolving into fireflies.
If you're reading this, Luna had pups, Give the star-marked one to Sophie. The burns will come back. Train the runt to smell cancer like Max could. And Jack? Lily's accident wasn't your fault. The drunk driver confessed to me in Kandahar. Forgive yourself. Marcus Dawson, 72 hours before KIA. Sophie's hands shook. Her childhood leukemia scars matched the pup's star. Below, Buster barked at the new puppy chasing light reflections, just like Lily in home videos. Emily pulled Jack close as the puppy pounced on Rex's old collar, the tags jingling like distant laughter. 5 years later, Captain, now a certified avalanche rescue dog, led a team up Glacier Ridge. Her star-shaped scar gleamed under emergency lights as she dug out a buried hiker. Back at base, the man stared at her tags. Dawson Morrison K9 Legacy, #2847A. That number, my brother served with. Tom, now gray-haired, handed him Coco. Finish the mission, son. At dawn, Jack watched the puppy, Rex's great-grandpup, herd toddlers at Lily's memorial playground. Buster, nearly blind, still supervised from his sunny spot. As the wind chimes played, Jack swore he heard two distinct barks, one deep like Rex's, one sharp like Lily's giggle. Emily squeezed his hand. Some stories don't end. On the hill above them, 87 wooden markers stood in formation, each carved with a dog's name and soldiers. The newest read, Rex, completed all missions, now running with angels. But the fresh paw prints in the dew told a different tale.